today we're gonna have a lot of fun because I'm gonna look at another High Point firearm, a new redesign of their classic 9mm. And the reason why I like to do this is because in spite of the naysayers, in spite of all the hate mongers out there, every single one I've ever used works like a top and usually outshoots more expensive guns. Let's talk about it. Now this new design is called, okay, bear with me here, the YEET Cannon. And if you Google YEET when it has to do with guns, you can understand what that's about. And so go do that. We won't dwell on that issue. What this is essentially a modernized kind of a redesign of the classic, basic design that they've been making for decades, I think. This one weighs about the same, 33 ounces, give or take a little bit. This one's in 9mm, but they've redesigned the grip, made the slide look a little more modern with some cool angles and things like that. This one has a threaded barrel on it. It also has grip safety, and which so far I have not shot this gun yet, but I've been playing with it, and it seems to function perfectly fine. I haven't not activated the grip safety whenever I've been holding it. And it's got a rail on it. It's got adjustable sights, which are Glock-based sights, so you can replace these with Glock sights if you want to. And let's see what else. It's got that kind of cast zinc slide thing and a polymer frame, but what people don't always know about the slide is the fact that there's actually a steel frame inside of it. So it's a bit like a reinforcing rod for concrete. So it's actually much stronger than you think, and that's why they don't really break. There's a couple other things on here that I'd like to touch base on. Is they've got a new magazine, which is, you could call it a high capacity magazine. It's a double stack that goes into a single stack. It's actually 10 rounds, so 10 plus 1, which is not as many rounds as a lot of guns have, but for $220, I guess it is, you actually get a lot of features for your money. It has a magazine safety, which, some people pull their hair out over that. I don't really care. This is kind of a utilitarian gun. It functions when the magazine is. It doesn't function when the magazine's out. Some people like that as a safety. It actually locks open after the last round, which is handy. A lot of the more affordable guns don't do that. And also, it actually comes with a rear aperture insert for the sight, which, I've actually used rear apertures before in handguns, and they actually work really well. I would recommend that you try that if you get one of these guns. Okay, well, it has a manual safety, if you like those kind of things, which makes perfect sense on a gun like this. And overall, I think it's really interesting. Their recontouring of the grip and the addition of this sort of, texturized material actually turns it into, I think, a significantly better feeling gun than the original design. Another thing fun about High Point, of course, is there's a slew of accessories available on their website. And, for, basically around $500, you can get a gun like this and a corresponding carbine in the same caliber. And that gets you in business. If you need some home defense guns on a budget, that kind of checks all the boxes right there. I found the High Point carbines too, actually, to be really accurate, and they all run like a top. They even have one in 30 Super now and 10mm. Okay, and so just for fun, I have not fired this gun yet. I don't even know if it's gonna work. But I figured the first magazine that we put through it can be live, and so you'll see what it does at the same time I get to see what it does. So let's gear up and shoot it. Okay, we're geared up here, eyes and ears. We're at about not quite 15 yards, so first time I've shot this gun, so I have no idea even if it's gonna work. So let's see. Okay, slide lock back. Actually, it's a pretty good trigger pull. I can't see the bullet hole, so let's go see how we did. Well, Actually, I don't think we did too bad considering this was the first time I pulled the trigger of this gun on some live ammo. I was doing pretty good. I obviously lost my mind in a couple there, but that's okay. So we got a couple inches firing very casually, offhand, around 15 yards. The very first time I've ever fired this gun, and I predict that like a lot of high points, I will bet you at 25 yards that this is going to be a sub 2-inch gun pretty easily. I think that there's a better trigger on this one, and the ergonomics certainly have changed it a lot. And I'm going to put some more rounds through this, but I think I have my new tractor gun in hand. All right, let's wrap this up. Well, there you have it, a quick look. High Point's new YC9 YEET Cannon. I think you have to say it that way, YEET Cannon. I think I did find my new tractor gun. You know, there are some people who say, oh, High Points are really ugly and, and we hate them and all that kind of stuff. Well, see, I don't think they're ugly. I think they're simply utilitarian. I mean, you look at a Model T Ford, I don't think anyone would say it's a pretty car, but yet he sold 20 million of them and they're still on the road, for crying out loud. And so I think utilitarian is a key here. At some level, High Point has gussied it up a bit, made it a little bit more modern looking, accessorized it a little more comprehensively. And so I just, for $225 odd, or maybe even cheaper in the street price, you really do get a lot of gun for the money. And I may not engrave it and gold plate it, but you know what? I'm certainly going to use this gun. Okay, hey, well, thanks for tuning in, and I'll be shooting this gun more extensively. We might have a follow-up video on it. Until then, check out the High Point new 9mm. Go to their website. There's a lot to look at there. There's a lot of options and a lot of different models. Don't forget to check out their carbines while you're there. And remember the 4 firearm safety rules, and please take a new shooter shooting. That's really important, and they need the help. So, all right, you guys take care. I'll see you next time.